Okay, what do we got? We got banger. Taking steroids is cheating. Natural versus steroid bodybuilders. Middle ground from Jubilee. Oh my God. I love fitness. I love talking about it. I love talking about all the PEDs. Let me just get into it. Oh my God.
In some cases, steroids are
Are
therapeutic.
not dangerous.
Most guys at the gym, if you're going to the gym, you're not using a therapeutic, or you're not using because your test is low. You're using it to be I just want to be an asshole at the gym.
So taking steroids makes you an asshole.
Oh shit.
Proudest moment.
We got this guy. I didn't even know his real name. That's his name. He's not even in character. What do you think are the chances he's going to be in character? Yes or no? This is Toji or Togi? I don't know. This guy.
Just the physique that I've built over the years.
When people come up to me and tell me like, yo, I see from your videos.
One of my proudest moments is actually winning 3 gold medals at the Natural Olympia.
Coolest thing I ever did in the gym was bench 415.
Winning Musclemania Universe was, my most prestigious bodybuilding accolade.
Proudest moment was when I got my pro
Oh, they got Niall.
card.
Proudest thing was yesterday.
Oh, they got this guy too. This guy's popping off.
I hopped off stage for the first time competing after just 3 years of training. Won a few shows, got 7 medals in total.
My best memory, I could say I did something called the Strength Camp Challenge.
My best accomplishment, obviously, getting an IFBB Pro card.
Proudest moment, having a mid-low physique to having a physique that I've always wanted.
I know most of these people.
My name is
all the content creator, and they got Eric. All the content creator bros. Woohoo!
Eric Janicki. You guys might remember me from the Fit Men versus Fat Men episode, but today
I remember.
I'm back as a moderator, and today's topic is natural versus.
I'm calling bias already. Eric is he's an enhanced bro. He's biased. No, I think Eric will be fine.
Steroids. Step forward.
Okay, what did we say? Natural versus steroids? They don't even say enhanced. They just say it's straight up natural versus steroids. Okay, let me hear this bullshit, Jubes.
If you agree, steroids are dangerous and should not be normalized in fitness.
Okay, steroids are dangerous, yes, and should not be normalized in fitness. Also, yes, everybody should take a step forward. But also, there's tons of shit to talk about this. Oh, look at that. Step. Oh, he disagree. A lot of is this guy, was Niall about to take a step forward? Oh, what are you doing? You not gonna walk forward because you seeing them? Come on, Niall, have some balls. Oh my God, you took like a step and you're like, oh, I'm on the steroid side. Maybe, and I'm the only one that stepped a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't. Doubting yourself, dog. Jesus. Oh my God. Thank you, Niall. Holy.
So for me, I am a natural bodybuilder, and I don't really like it when I see guys that take steroids and then they call themselves natural and they compete.
Nobody does, buddy. That's why there's a term called fake natties. The boys that call themselves natural when they don't really look like it.
In the natural organization. So for that reason, I basically feel like they're cheating. So I don't really think that they should normalize it. Once you normalize it, then it gives guys a reason to.
Okay, I mean, hopefully we'll bang on both of these parts of the statement.
Take those steroids and then come and compete in an organization that they shouldn't be competing.
So to clarify, you're saying that it's actually getting more normalized by people that are fake naturals that are saying that they're.
And so what I guess Eric is hinting at is like, the fake natties are not normalizing steroids. They're trying to hide the steroids. The people that are normalizing steroids are the people that are just out and about and not trying to hide it. Those are the people that are normalizing steroids.
Natural, but they're actually not. So you think that's actually the biggest part of the problem?
That's one of the big problems, correct?
I think steroid culture is ultimately what is corrupting the industry more than anything else.
Is this dude on the natural side? Huh. Okay.
The first side of the question is addressing that is dangerous. And there are many health risks that I feel as though
Natural Joshua. Okay.
they're not spoken about enough, and that is one of the biggest problems. And we can go down a list of like cardiovascular issues, liver damage, skin and hair changing, heart problems, ultimately death if you go far enough down the rabbit hole. Just recently, we had credible, like highly respected bodybuilders in the industry drop dead. Cedric McMillan, Sean Roden, Dallas, George Peterson, and all of these gents were mid to late 30s and early 40s.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't tell
you should not be dying in your 30s and 40s, dude.
What you need to know, then you are blind and you're driven by ego.
And another side I don't think it talked about a lot is the mental issues, like the psychological aspects of void rage, anxiety,
mood swings,
paranoia. And that's something that if they don't die from like you said, a physical cause, they're living with this being on edge all the time and your escalated moods, and that's something you don't want to deal with.
So the reason that I stepped forward is because steroids are dangerous. And I don't think there's...
Damn, no. What the fuck? You coming here with a hickey? What the fuck? I don't care.
There's really anyone that can really argue against that. But that's the reason why I host my own podcast, is the purpose of...
Just a little plug. I host my own podcast.
Me being open about the fact that I use them and that I'm in a sport that...
But you're not a fake natty. You going against what that first dude said. You just a straight up enhanced bro.
Utilizes them is because there's a lot of information that people do not know about this. It's like sometimes it feels like its own university class. I think it's very easy for anyone to just jump in and start it without knowing a thing about it.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say about like what...
I mean, it kind of feels like that, because when could one possibly first get introduced into doing steroids? Maybe high school, maybe your senior year, maybe college, maybe you got good at sports and you're like, okay at it. Maybe your coach or maybe not even your coach, maybe it was like one of your friends got you into it. Hey man, you want to jump higher, run faster, throw stronger, whatever. You want to beat that other guy, want to get a little bit bigger, come do some of this stuff. This is what we're all doing. There could be some peer pressure that goes along with it. And seemingly, with the advent of the internet making more and more information readily available, you could get educated, but I doubt anybody really will. Most of the time, people just want the end result without having to go through the rigmarole of, all the trial and error that leads up to that final point.
Whether or not I'm technically normalizing it or not. But I agree it's dangerous.
Yes, you are normalizing it by talking about it. Pretty sure that's the definition of something that's normalized. If something is not, so then what's the opposite of normalized? Taboo. There are things that are taboo. You don't really talk about them. They do exist. Everybody knows they exist, but they're taboo. They're just, people don't talk about them. Unless you go into like your own little group where it's normalized in the group, but we're talking about like to the massive amounts of people, normies.
I mean, you should be informed. You shouldn't just take something that you don't know anything about.
100%. I totally agree. I feel like fitness for me is...
You shouldn't take something you don't know anything about. I mean, people buy tons of food and and now I'm just being like granular. Like people buy like food, people buy products, people buy tons of shit. They have no idea what it takes to make or how it's made, or you know what like everybody has smartphones. You know, they're all made with fucking cobalt mine, fucking cobalt and shit. What else? Everybody has clothes made in China. Everybody knows it's like made from like child slaves or whatever. Yeah, you don't really need to know every single solitary thing about things you buy. You just have to trust it enough. And that trust factor, I think sometimes when it comes to steroids, it just bleeds into like, it's like, oh, I buy food, I buy my phone, I buy random other shit at Walmart or whatever. And here comes this person. They look normal, or maybe like they look a little bit strong. They have like some vials of steroids or whatever, or like maybe some orals or whatever. Maybe I could trust them because this guy has them and he's willing to sell them to me or whatever. There's a degree of like trust that happens, I would imagine. Okay, let's just keep going. I'm just yapping.
It's more about something, you know, that you want to do to get better, to feel better, to look better, of course.
Yeah.
And I feel like the fact that it's getting normalized now, it defeats the whole purpose of fitness, in my opinion.
Steroids being more normalized defeats the purpose of fitness. I'd probably mostly agree with that. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, growing up, I played football, ran track, baseball, the whole nine. I'm from South Florida, very competitive state, and we used to joke and say, "I don't even do protein shakes." That's how much stigma that we thought
that's funny.
Protein was the key.
Yeah.
No, we thought it was juicing. Like we literally was ignorant to the fact that like
for me it was creatine.
Creatine too. So I would drink a protein shake. My friends like, "Bruh, you're not natural," and this is like.
Oh my God. I have heard this scantly from like some of my friends in the past. Like if you do protein shakes, you're not natural. It's like, we are past that point, dude. We are 100% past that point. All it is fucking cheese. It's just like scraped off cheese from the top of a vat. Whey. It's whey protein. That's all it is. And then the whole creatine thing, that's funny too.
Like 16, 17.
But, you know, as funny as it is, it's like things that had a stigma in the past become more and more normalized is the trend that I'm seeing with every product that is mentioned here. Like protein used to be considered unnatty, now it's natty. Creatine used to be considered not natty, now it's natty. And then within the realm of the gigantic umbrella of steroids, there are many degrees of effectiveness or mechanism of action that the steroids like act under. And, you know, you could consider these couple categories of steroids are, if you take these steroids, you can still be considered natty. But if you take these ones, these are like the big evil ones. And if you take these, you're not natty. So it's like an ever-moving gradient, it feels like.
So we were not that young, but we're ignorant to it. And that was, I'm 36, so that was like 2003 to 2005.
Yeah.
And going to the point of it's more normalized, I feel like I've met kids who are 18, 19 who haven't even finished puberty.
Younger.
Right.
So it's like one thing to use it, it is what it is, but it's like you haven't even finished growing yet.
And that is the problem. When you normalize steroids, then the young kids are going to start taking it also. And then, you know, those are the ones that are going to be dying quick, right? I mean, people don't talk about that. They just talk about, oh, you look good, you know, you're going to get buff. Sure.
I mean, we got a whole hour. I mean, we're probably going to talk about many subjects about steroids and not natty and natty. But yeah, I mean, essentially what I was just referencing is, you know, the gradient of steroids. That there is also something that to be said about the gradient of cheating.
But there's a lot of implications to it.
Based on what you guys are saying, do you think that there's an age where it's more or less appropriate, or do you think it's across the board?
At least 5 to 10 years, you got to give yourself a real training as a natural.
Yeah.
You know, if you even think about that. But I would just say don't do it anyway.
So my opinion is that the use of steroids for visual appeal or physical alteration, the visual aesthetic across the board should not be normalized.
So only performance. If you use steroids for only looks, no, but it's okay for performance. But isn't bodybuild, don't they call themselves athletes in bodybuilding? So what, if you're a bodybuilder or some gradient of that, then yes. But if you're like a model or something, which you're not even competing against anybody in like a formal contest type of way, if you're a model or something, you're like kind of competing, in the business world, you're competing against the rival agency and to get a job or whatever. So that is wrong. That doesn't seem like right either to me. I thought we were trying, are we trying to uphold competitive integrity? Are we trying to just be entertained? Which one?
I don't think that's good at all.
Well, understandably, he probably hasn't thought a lot about this.
Times when you get later in your age when your hormonal levels start to decrease, and there are times when people will take testosterone or whatever chemical, whatever substance that they need to get their levels back to normal so that they can feel better in day-to-day life. That's the only time in my opinion, when I feel it is appropriate. But outside of that, if you're using steroids to look better, to get shredded, to alter your physical appearance, no.
Why not? You're not hurting anybody else. You're not affecting anybody else directly. You could be indirectly affecting other people. Like, oh my God, that guy looks so good. He looks jacked. He's shredded. I feel so bad about myself. Oh my God, I develop a eating disorder. I hate myself because how I look. And you could affect someone indirectly, but people don't normally give a shit about stuff like that. People usually give a shit about it if it's affecting other people, like in sports. Especially if you have a direct contact sport or, in bodybuilding. That's what we're kind of talking about. That just seems like backwards logic to me.
All right, can the disagreeers come and step forward?
Oh! Here we go.
All right, so I think you guys have a misconception of steroid use, and then you guys have a wrong grasp of steroid abuse. So
here we go. Someone with some brain cells. Steroid use, steroid abuse. There is a safe range, and then there is an abusive range. All right?
a lot of what you guys were talking about is steroid abuse. Like all the people you named who died and were very young or whatever, were abusing steroids. And I didn't step forward fully.
So let's look at the prompt again. Steroids are dangerous and blah, blah, blah. So let's look at steroids are dangerous. Everything is dangerous. Why do you think like almost every substance has an LD50? An LD50 is what's called a lethal dose of 50. Let's look that up. LD50. LD50. What is it? LD50 stands for lethal dose 50 and is measured by how toxic a chemical is. LD50 is the amount of a chemical that kills half a group of test animals when administered all at once. It's usually expressed as milligrams per kilogram of body weight for the test animal. Everything has an LD50, even water. Okay, so maybe it's on Jubilee for that, but I mean, it's whatever. Everything has an LD50. Everything can potentially be dangerous if you do too much of it.
Because I can't get that. Steroids are definitely dangerous. I wouldn't tell people to do it or not to do it or whatever. So like I wouldn't like bring it upon
I wouldn't tell people not to do it.
people, but I couldn't get down with the whole thing.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's the verbiage that a lot of people that use steroids use, which is totally understandable. But that's the thing is like communication is difficult sometimes. People use verbiage in a different way. So a lot of people will say any steroid use.
People will only want to hear what they choose. People will only choose to hear what they want to hear. That's what it is. And it goes along with the steroids being normalized in fitness. If I see like some YouTube bros getting really popular in the fitness category, but they look amazing. Super round shoulders, abs, huge arms, massive legs, big chest, big back. Okay. And if I was a little kid, I wouldn't know if this person is natural or enhanced. I wouldn't. I mean, as an adult, I could probably guess. But if I was a little kid, I probably couldn't guess. Yeah. I mean, people only want to hear what they want to. What people will choose to hear what they want to hear. So let's say, for example, your body type isn't good for like a certain brand of steroid, but if you like somehow see what all the top competitors are doing and all the top competitors are taking that steroid, the one that you're allergic to or you don't respond well to, you're gonna drown everything out. You're gonna put your hands over your eyes and go, no, I'm not. I'm just a very tough responder. I will respond to this one well. I just need more of it. Okay, that's what people do.
Is steroid abuse.
Right.
That's the problem. But if you're most of the time, only the people that are in like the bodybuilding industry who literally spend day in and day out studying this for themselves and for whoever else they're dealing with, if the coaches or their athletes themselves, understand that.
True, but everybody doesn't have a coach. I would say more people don't have a coach than people that do have a coach, because we're not just talking about competitors. We're talking about everybody. Everybody doesn't have like a good steroid coach or whatever to pluck knowledge from.
You can stay alive. You can be
for sure
risk averse taking it.
So
yeah.
I think everybody's reading beyond what this question is. Steroids are dangerous. What's a steroid? How is it dangerous?
Here we
what
go.
Application? If you look at the testosterone level of a 20-year-old now, it is at the same level as testosterone level of a 7-year-old in the 1970s. We have a low testosterone epidemic.
Oh.
Most men over the age of 30 have female level testosterone. Testosterone
Oh
being
no.
low
Is that me? Shit, I gotta get my test levels checked.
is more dangerous than having your levels normalized via TRT. So looking at that question, you're thinking about somebody going and just jamming grams of test in their delt every day.
It's dangerous.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Too much water is dangerous, right? We all agree you could die from too much water.
Yeah.
So by saying that steroids are dangerous, what about you have an inflammation attack, prednisone? Is that dangerous?
Too much McDonald's is dangerous.
Sure,
Yep.
but that's not necessarily used to
So
get
in the fitness
aesthetic,
world,
to become aesthetic, right?
Well, the question
And
was
most
how to
guys that
dress
are at the
aesthetic.
gym that I see-
The question was broad. Are steroids bad? And that's the problem with the natty camp. You guys vilify all steroid use when it's therapeutic. AIDS patients, should they be allowed to use steroids?
I'm a natural athlete. Despite
What? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know why. This shit slipped my mind. Fucking shizzy? What? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I could 100% be wrong. But I will bring up something in this video that no one will like. Maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe, okay, let's just keep going.
what everyone thinks.
Nah, I'm calling you out.
Whatever, dude.
You, Michael Hearn, Simeon Panda.
Whatever, man. Listen.
Once you get tattoos,
Bro,
you're not that.
At least someone had the brains to call this man out. Holy.
Reach naturally. There's a level you can't reach naturally.
You're absolutely correct.
Everybody knows it. And I love bodybuilding. And I love the image of the golden era. Everyone knows that. Because it's something that's untouchable, right? It's a physique that you can't buy.
No.
And that's the only thing.
I mean, yeah, you kind of can, you kind of can't. I mean, yeah, steroids cost money, and you're not seeing any homeless people out here. You're not seeing anyone in like low class having fucking steroids, looking like an absolute beast of a man or woman. Right? Usually, if you're doing steroids and you're like a decent responder to steroids, it usually shows in some way, shape, or form. You know, everybody, what do you call it? Everybody associates steroids with bodybuilding, but you guys have to remember this incident. What was it? A Lance Armstrong doping case. Does anybody forget the Tour de France? Does this look like a man that does steroids? For fuck's sakes. No, he does not. Okay? He looks like a bicyclist. He looks like a long distance bicyclist. Okay? And one of the sentences, one of the statements, the comments that he said was, "It wasn't just me. Everybody was doing it." Okay? Everybody was doing steroids. Everybody was blood doping or whatever the fuck they were doing. Okay? This is not the image of steroids. This type of person. Okay? Everybody has the image of the big bodybuilder, steroid bro. They don't have the image of the long distance bicyclist, steroid bro. All right? Do we forget this? Do not forget this. Just because you see the big muscles doesn't mean that these people are immune to doing steroids. Steroids go along with performance, maximizing performance, performance enhancing drugs. The sport of bodybuilding, the sport of big muscles, the sport of sculpting your aesthetic. That's the thing. For these guys, it's long distance bike racing. For other people, it's track and field. Or remember the track and field shit. Okay? Remember the track and field incident where like damn near everybody got popped for that one like 100-meter race. Steroids are everywhere.
You can get there is by enhancing yourself. Let's keep it real.
But the question was not about that.
So why are you praising them? Why are you praising the steroids? If you so natty. Huh? Shizzy? Why are you praising the steroids?
Question wasn't about that, but I think that it's very subjective. It's very opinionated because we all have our individual
So would you all agree?
experiences with
Would you all agree that in some cases steroids are
Are
therapeutic?
not dangerous.
Yeah, if it's medical.
But I mean,
If you're using it for medical use, correct.
mentioned
But
people-
Well, what's a
most
medical
guys at the gym, if you're going to the gym, you're not using a therapeutic, or you're not using because your test is low. You're using it to be I just want to be an asshole at the gym.
Nah, I think this statement is retarded. He's just I don't think he thought that one through. I'll give him a pass on that one. That's a completely retarded statement.
Gym. You know what I mean?
Everybody in this circle heard that and was like, there was like a collective sigh, like, oh, why would you say that? You're so stupid.
Steroids makes you an asshole.
No, I don't think that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like most
You
guys
just said it.
use it for that.
I don't
reason.
appreciate you calling my friend. Okay,
I'm not calling you an asshole.
maybe it's the test levels, dude. Maybe guys on gear are f***ing warriors, and the guys that are natural, we have low tests. Like,
No, my test naturally is 957 nanograms per deciliter.
well, I don't think I have low test either. But if they feel that way, because look at them how they work out, bro. Intense, and they're making gains.
People on steroids?
Yes.
Of course.
Realize why they developed steroids,
Sure.
right? It wasn't get jacked. In fact, in the 1980s,
Sure, but
they
if
were
I'm
telling
taking
us that steroids don't cause muscle gain. That was the government's official message.
Yeah.
So steroids, when taken in excess, like anything else, can be very dangerous.
Which
right?
that's the problem.
But the problem is, and this is probably something down the
they don't
line.
blame the drugs, they
The
do.
problem is when the fitness industry takes something and they amplify it. I think that's what you guys are arguing. that the young fitness influencers who are promoting copious drug use to get to their goals, making millions of dollars on YouTube, it's going to get a lot of kids to do it as well.
Oh yeah. I don't necessarily know, like, because when I was a little kid, I watched like YouTube fitness and shit like that. I didn't really know a dick about ass about steroids. I just thought everybody I watched just looked like they're straight out of Dragon Ball Z. And it's like, oh, maybe they all watch Dragon Ball Z. I watch Dragon Ball Z. Maybe they just worked out. And that's literally in my little kid head. That's what I thought. Like, oh, I want to look like Goku. That's why I want to work out. Yeah. Like a little kid, like, yes, there are instances of little kids doing steroids. There is 100% that. And let me see. Where is it? Like 14-year-old does steroids. Let's see. There was like an news. Okay. Well, maybe not 14, but still teenagers. I'm pretty sure there was like there was a couple teenage cases of like 14, 15, 16 like just little kids doing steroids, and they're all thinking, like, you have to wonder like where they got that idea. What was it from social media? Was it from their parents? Where did they get it from? Was it from their friends? You know, it's kind of hard to say. But to say that little kids or just, you know, kids in general just do it. I don't really think kids know like anything about steroids. They just see big guy with big muscles. I'm just going to go work out. You know, it's only until you like are in the fitness YouTube whirlpool that, you know, you see a random video on the side of like, oh, steroids, what's that? Oh, steroids give you big muscles. Oh my God. Is that what my favorite fitness YouTuber does? Do they do steroids? You know, it's like this, it's like a little domino effect thing.
Just because something's dangerous, like abusing steroids dangerous, that doesn't mean we should.
I don't know why Toji is here. We're not talking about gambling. Well, should the prompt be like, is gambling dangerous? Like, is gambling dangerous, and should gambling be normalized?
Shouldn't normalize it. Like, you guys are saying we shouldn't normalize steroids, it's bad, but you're also watching the Olympia. Those are the people that blast grams of gear. Like, things.
True. We're all guilty of this. This is a very good point. He's pointing out the human behavior that the masses of people exhibit amongst, you know, wanting to see like the best performance. He is just straight up saying it. You guys are saying one thing, but your actions dictate another. And this is not just within the Olympia. This is not just within the IFBB. This is not just within bodybuilding. This is within all of sports performance. This is in football. This is in basketball. This is in hockey. What else? It's probably honestly in the most mundane thing, like golf. It's probably in there. But steroids are in your favorite sport. 100%. Even more so with the Olympics. Even more so.
Things that are awesome, entertaining, are dangerous. UFC.
There, he just said it. People do steroids to be entertained. They want to see the best performance. You're not entertained by like the most mid-level fucking whatever performance. You're not. That's not going to put eyes on the video. That's not going to get clicks on the video. That's not going to get eyes on the event. You want the eyes. You want the attention. You want the clicks. You want the best performance. You better be doing something. Some sort of gear, some sort of PEDs. Better be doing something.
Dangerous. NFL, dangerous. You guys all watch the NFL.
Yeah.
It's Sunday. You're probably pissed you missed the last game. Even though more people in the NFL are dying trying to get there, more kids are dying trying to get there than there are people that are the kids abusing steroids. So
True. Never thought I'd agree with Toji on this one.
just because it's dangerous doesn't mean it's bad to put out on the world just because, you know, we're humans. We want exciting, entertaining stuff. And nobody's denying that it's dangerous, but we can still enjoy how insane.
Damn, well, the fastest speedrun way to end an entire conversation. People would rather be entertained than value competitive integrity. Wow. I think everybody can leave. I could just stop the video right now.
Insane it is to look at a motherfucker like this. It's like, that's incredible.
I have children. I have children of that age. How do you get them not to get jacked? And yes, young people on testosterone, it is messing you up. Like, you're in an age where you're developing, teenagers, they're developing, they become infertile. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. So
please don't make this about trans. Oh, God, please don't.
Key is, by discussing it like y'all do, we're able to go and say, oh, here's the negatives from it. So as long as they're being fair and balanced with, I'm doing this, but I know I'm also doing this negative thing, I think we're in a good spot.
Well, there's also on the cigarette pack, it says you can die, but people still smoke. So in the end, people just make their own choices.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That gives,
Which is, there's no problem if you're making your own choice.
Our point now.
But there is a problem if you're teaching other people that it's okay, right?
Well,
when Camel used to smoke, they had cowboys and they were smoking like, hey, look at me, I'm cool. Well, every kid wants to be like that, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of deceiving the kids.
Yeah, if I'm a little kid, I see a dude with big muscles, I'm like, hey, that guy looks cool. I want to be like that guy. Yeah.
Well, you're not deceiving them because cigarettes and steroids are dope. Like, you're out here getting jacked. To be in the NFL, you got to be on steroids, which is dope. Being jacked, dope. Smoking darts, dope. It's all dope. Why are we pretending like it's not dope? Everyone knows it's not healthy, but why are we not talking enough about, like, wow, that is a really fun, cool thing that changes life for the better. Even though I know it's unhealthy, everyone's hammering the unhealthy, unhealthy, unhealthy. A good cigarette and some coffee, that's awesome.
Well, first of all, I don't have a problem with guys that choose to do steroids or not, right? That's their own choice. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that when you say that that's cool, he's saying, you know, like, oh, that's cool, that makes you badass. Every kid wants to be a badass. And they don't realize, they don't have enough time for them to understand the implications that happen, right? All the death.
Oh, well, yeah. Little kids can't even fucking understand school, let alone the complexities of steroids, the mechanism of action. Are you a hyper responder? Are you a hypo responder? Do you have an allergic reaction? All this other shit. Kids don't care about that.
Necessarily promoting it.
What's happening?
Saying it's cool is not necessarily promoting it.
Well, we say that.
I think it kind of is. Hey, this aiming sleeve is pretty cool, but I'm not promoting it. It's a what is this? It's a Pulsar aiming sleeve. I really like it. I think it's cool, but I'm not promoting it. Okay, that's kind of some dumb logic.
It is
Well, it's like, I like what I like. They can watch you and be natural, and you say that's cool. I like what I like. I'm just going to talk about what I enjoy.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. But I think when you're young, most of the kids can make their own decisions, right? Like,
I mean, this is a great conversation, but I think we really need to like reel it back into like the next topic, or like just get back to this one.
Like you and I can make. We're older, we can understand this. And you've been through it, so that's the reason we can speak.
But that's the game, is you have to grow up and make your own decisions. We can't be feeding them decisions, or you see what I'm saying?
I got a question for you, you guys. Have you guys ever thought about hopping on? Like, ever?
I have.
Okay, so.
I haven't yet.
You haven't yet? You never thought about it. Have you?
I haven't, because of the health reasons. That's it.
That's the number one thing you just shut it out of your brain.
That's just my personal reason.
Okay, now why did you think about doing it? I'm curious.
So the reason I thought about taking steroids is because of seeing as though I look like this natural, and I've been able to be successful in the sport up to this point. I'm Mr. Universe in the Muscle Mania, which is a natural bodybuilding federation. And
okay. So, I mean, he's going to go off and do his thing on that. I'm just going to say this. Even the natural athlete status, they are also doing steroids. They just get to claim that they're natural because they passed the pee test, the urine test, and no, what am I? I'm so bad. The pee test, the polygraph test, and the blood sample test. Those are some of the tests. Those are the three types of like main tests that you can test for. There's like others, but the blood, the urine, and the polygraph, those can all be beaten. Okay? They just can. The flu, like the blood and the urine, that's a snapshot. Okay? It can't. Can't detect whether you took steroids like a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. All right? Those tests are only good for like a couple months. That's just what happens. Okay? The polygraph thing, you can fudge that. Okay? You can get around that one. Just because you're a natural athlete, Mr. Whatever the fuck, doesn't really make it doesn't make you a natural as well. Just because your little medal says natural, that doesn't make you natty. This is the same logic or the same concept of mental gymnastics that happens in video games, with like shooting games. So, video game comes out, it's like shooting game comes out, it gets popular. Okay, it's got to be popular. Cheats get made for it. People use the cheats, and then the developer is like, "Oh, people are cheating. Oh, we got to make an anti-cheat." Okay, got him. Okay, the cheat developers, they're like, "Oh, they got that one, but we're gonna update it. So these are the new cheats." Everybody gets on the new cheats, and then game developer, people made new cheats. Oh, how do we detect it? Oh, let's figure it out. Okay, we detected it. Got him again. Okay, round 3. Oh, they took our cheats down. Let's just make some more new ones that they can't detect. Okay, and then this happens. New cheats, new anti-cheat. New cheats, new anti-cheat. Steroids. New test that detects the steroids. New steroids. Test to get the steroids. New steroids. Test that detects the steroids. New steroids. Okay? This is the same thing that happens. Okay? This is nothing new. Just because you got like a #1 natty win doesn't make you a natty. It doesn't.
And that's a pretty prestigious title just in bodybuilding overall.
No, it doesn't. It's not prestigious, because if it was, more people would be there watching. How much money did you make off of that little win? I guarantee you it's not as popular as the Mr. Olympia Open class. I guarantee it's not.
It being that I look like this natural, I've been training for 14 years. I know that if I were to take steroids, I would more than likely like blow up. I would end up just capitalizing on my physique, my genetic potential. I would look just more.
That's the reason why I think that there is a reason why people should hop on. Is because people like.
Why are you as a natural trying to tell people to do steroids? And that steroids is good. You're kind of like outing yourself, brother. What are you doing?
Like you and people like me have.
I thought Shizzy was like an outward person where he was like, yeah, I do steroids, whatever. I didn't know he was doing this. I mean, honestly, if he is natural, like, good on him. Fuck, I'm wrong.
Thought this shit out for a long time. We know what the potential is. I'm saying if we ever wanted to take it to that level, bro, you know what it takes.
I know what it takes, but just like him, I refrained because of the health reasons.
And
I'm
that's a
thinking
personal
about,
choice.
It is a personal choice. Yeah.
The thing is, there's a lot of like health repercussions, but it's a whole nother job.
Could go the other way around though.
When you go into bodybuilding and you decide to go that route, there's going to be a whole list of things that you need to learn and take care of when you're doing this, you know? And it's going to be a lot of money too. Like, you know?
Yeah. Poor people don't do steroids. Rich people do steroids. If you got money, you do steroids. Poor people and maybe middle class people, probably not. They don't do steroids. Steroids is a luxury thing.
Especially if you care about your longevity. And a lot of pro Olympians and bodybuilders will say too, good blood work builds muscle in a way. So basically like an unhealthy body is an unresponsive body. So the more you just like just eat Anadrol every fucking day, sooner or later your body might not be growing as well. And that's like one simple surface level thing that you have to think about, but add that on top of all the other things you need to think about to make sure that you're going to not die of a heart attack by age 40.
Natural bodybuilding is the
Dang. Thank God. Oh, they're just going to cover this one real quick.
only honest form of bodybuilding. Agreeers, please step forward.
Nope. What cope is this, guys? What cope is this? This is actual cope.
It's the only real, honest, authentic form of bodybuilding because you were going with nothing outside of what you could achieve by natural means. And when you involve steroids or any kind of enhancement drug, you are now stepping outside of what you could achieve naturally. It's not really much more that needs to be said. I think it's just that plain and simple.
Genetics play a huge role in the sport of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Do I agree that a lot of people that are blasting gear right now should be blasting gear based off of their genetic buildup?
No, it's not based off of their genetic buildup that they're blasting gear. People blast gear to beat the other guy standing next to them. That's why they blast gear. They all want to win the #1 headband.
No. I don't think that a lot of people have the potential to win. I don't. But if we were to delete all steroid use and just we all have one genetic buildup, one that God gave us, or we have the food that grows on the earth that we all eat, why can't we just take what is given to us and see what we can make out of it? But I just feel like human beings.
Because people don't want to see that. Because if that was what people wanted to see, that's where all the money would be. That's where all the entertainment would be. That's where all the clicks, all the views would be. But no, where are all the clicks? Where are all the views? They're at the IFBB. They're at the Mr. Olympia open weight class. They want to see the biggest, the most shreddedest person a person can be. That's what people want to see. They want to be entertained. People don't give a shit about competitive integrity. Competitors give a shit about competitive integrity. People, audience, does not.
Always have to take it to the next step.
All right, disagreeers, please step forward.
Oh, here we go. Oh, how spicy do you think it's going to get? How heated is this about to get?
What is natural bodybuilding? You take a polygraph test. You have to be natural for 7 years.
Oh, why is it only 7 years? Why is it not lifetime? Huh?
So, we know from recent data that steroid use lasts. It makes you pretty much more awesome for life. So what is natural? So that means that all natural organizations, the WMBF, the OCB, all those things, they're not honest because all of them have this 7-year thing. There is no natural bodybuilding organization. And honestly, no one would watch it. There's a natural Mr. Olympia. Nobody knows about it.
I didn't even know that there's a natural Mr. Olympia. That motherfucker ain't natural. Ain't nothing natural about him. His veins are coursing with just as much chemicals as the fucking open bros.
I didn't even know
just
that.
this weekend, actually.
It was?
I was there.
Damn. See? I'm literally an IFBB pro. I had no idea that was this week.
Yes, natural Olympic.
But we all know when the Olympia was. We all know when the Arnold's going to be. We all put it on our
Well, I
calendar.
know when
People want to see, the people want to see the big freaks.
Yeah.
But the
Well, I
bottom
think
line
that there's a difference between what people want to see and also what's good, right? Or what's healthy, what's...
People don't want to see what's good. People don't want to see what's healthy. They don't want to see that.
the right thing.
So
There's the right thing and there's
is natural bodybuilding healthy?
said honest.
Is
well,
getting
natural
down-
bodybuilding to a certain degree is not.
Is
correct?
getting down? Look, I
But
would
I
argue.
think natural bodybuilding is not as unhealthy as taking drugs.
Okay, so getting yourself down to 5% body fat, where your testosterone plummets to the single digits, that's healthy?
Sure, no, that's not healthy.
Do you realize a lot of female competitors in natural organizations have issues getting pregnant later in life because they tank their hormones?
Sure, people
Damn.
eating,
So
you know,
there
McDonald's
is
I didn't know
no
that.
healthy bodybuilding. To compete at a level that doesn't look like shit, to look amazing like that guy, you're going to be unhealthy. And I will argue that having stable hormone levels is as, if not more healthy than having tanked hormone levels from being natural.
Oh.
If you are enhanced.
Damn. I think Tiger Fitness was just cooking. I actually forgot his name. I just know he's the dude from Tiger Fitness.
And you're honest about it, does that make it still not an honest form of bodybuilding, since there's these tools at people's disposal and they're being honest about utilizing those
Sure,
tools?
as long as they're competing on the other side, right?
Yeah. So if he's telling someone what he's taking to get ready for a show, that's honest.
Well, that's honest.
Well, everybody's honest because everybody in IFBB is on
As
drugs.
long as you say it, right?
Yeah.
The
Everybody.
problem is a lot of guys that do take steroids, they say they're natty. That's the other problem, right? That's the only problem.
Oh, I think we all have a problem with
That's
that.
a big problem with that.
The body positivity movement
Oh, well, at least that was quick and painless. Not bad.
has gone too far.
Body positivity movement has gone too far. Yeah, this is hilarious. I got to hear this one.
Would the agreeers please step forward?
Literally everybody is like walking except Toji. Oh wait, and Niall and that guy and Shizzy. Do you guys just like not understand? Maybe everybody is like misunderstanding what the little prompt means. It's also hilarious watching Eric sit down in this tiny stool every time.
Like, I'm all for confidence, someone being confident in themselves and the way they look and being happy with who they are and, you know, what they got going on. But it gets to a point where, like, the unhealthiness shouldn't be something that you are proud of. I think that's really not the way we should go about getting the message out, because there's a difference between healthiness, what is considered healthy, what is considered fit, and what is unhealthy, what is unfit.
So what's the #1 comorbidity? Obesity. We should not celebrate fatness. We should shun fat people. We should help them lose weight.
We should shun fat people. We should help them lose weight. Wow. I'm waiting for someone to say, you should shame fat people.
We should tell them that is not good. To celebrate something that will inevitably lead to them dying, that is something we should not celebrate. We need to be helping these people lose weight by not glorifying being fat, by not glorifying being gluttonous, by not glorifying being lazy. Also, being fat makes you stupid. Your brain will not operate as well because your oxygenation to your brain will be lowered. There is nothing good from being overweight and fat.
I had no idea that being fat makes you stupider. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh. I had no idea. I can't be using that against my buddies.
Do not glorify things that are going to kill people.
That's right.
I talk on my social media platforms. I've been fat. I was fat for like 20 years of my life, and I've been fit, and fit is better every single time, no matter what.
Yeah.
Can I have all the disagreeers step forward as well, please?
Sitting next to Niall again.
Yeah, maybe these guys just didn't like understand the prompt.
All right, who'd like to speak first on the disagreeers?
Oh, I got something here. I think you guys are so concerned about what other people are doing with their bodies. Like, your definition of happiness is not the same as theirs. Let them be happy being fat as shit. We could have a cocaine positive movement because if you're happy ripping a ton of cocaine, even though it's not necessarily healthy.
Okay, so now I know that it is not. What was his name? Sean or Shane? I think it was Shane. Now I know that Shane is not here, and it is Togi. Togi, the character, is here. Okay.
As long as they're happy, let them do it. Do what makes you happy, which is being fit and healthy. But it's not up to you.
Do you pay
to
taxes?
Say. I do pay taxes.
Do you know how much obesity contributes to our national debt a year?
I'm not so
Trillions of
concerned about the entire.
So you want to see
America's such a great country. I'm gonna pay my taxes happy and not be feeding to fat people with my taxes because there's so many layers to paying taxes that getting angry about it feeding the fat people is not something that I should be concerning myself with.
Body positive.
Yeah, there's too many degrees of separation to like. I mean, I get that. What Tiger Fitness was trying to go for, it is. He's not wrong, but there's just simply too many degrees of separation, like between like paying taxes and like the number one comorbidity, and if everyone was like a little bit skinnier, that could like reduce like taxes and like where shit your budget gets like delegated and shit. Yeah.
Positivity.
Yes.
Is that necessarily fatness though?
Yes.
It became
everything.
Yes.
Just
it wasn't.
It's like.
And is it
90%.
skinny people hyping up fat people, or is it fat people hyping up fat people?
Fat people hyping up fat people.
Yeah.
I want to get fat.
And people will disagree, and we might get heat for this, but
I
that's
literally
the truth.
don't. I've never heard.
Yeah,
I've never
that's
even
the truth.
been in that realm of body positivity.
They're trying to say like, yeah,
might
being
get-
fat is.
So for me personally, I just don't get served these types of videos or this type of content of like the body positivity, whatever. Maybe I have like clicked refresh on YouTube a couple times and maybe a video popped up and I don't know, maybe I just never clicked on it. So I'm just like blind to this, but like my experience with the whole body positivity thing is like, if like a random news thing pops up of like some fat singer got skinny, everyone's pissed that she's skinny now, she's turned her back on the fatties, or some fat like rapper is just like what do you call it, being fat on a couch or something, and half of the people watching are like, yeah, you go, and then the other half is like, no, that's bad. I mean, I could give less of a shit. I only honestly see like whatever like is in the news. I mean, it probably has gone too far. I mean, isn't America like one of the fatter countries? So because of America being one of the fatter countries, you should probably like stop doing the body positivity thing and, you know, go out, go get active, go do something, burn some calories. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's okay. It's not.
I didn't know that
They had
existed.
this obese lady on Cosmo, and it said, "This is the new fit," and the chick was just, you know, built like Patrick from SpongeBob, right? Just sloppy. That's not the new fit.
Yeah, that's not.
You can't redefine the word fit.
But like, I agree though. Like, I just feel like maybe where social media has made us just so involved in other people's lives, like too much so.
In the 70s, if you took a picture of any park or beach, everybody was fit. Now you take a picture, everybody looks like they're beached on the beach. They're literally
What did he say?
just sloppy fat. That's not the new fit. We can't redefine the word fit.
But like, I agree though. Like, I just feel like maybe where social media has made us just so involved in other people's lives, like too much so.
In the 70s, if you took a picture of any park or beach, everybody was fit. Now you take a picture, everybody looks like they're beached on the beach. They're literally.
Oh, everyone looks like they're beached on the beach. Oh my god, that's actually pretty funny. That's a good one. Oh my god. Everybody looks like they're beached on the beach. Honestly, I don't go to the beach anymore because it's too fucking hot out here in Florida, man. Even in like the cool winter, like I don't want to go to the beach in the winter, but I just don't want to go to the beach. And I'm not even like that. I'm not even fat. I'm just like average Joe Schmo dude. I'm like, I could be doing something else. What am I gonna do on the beach?
Beached whales right there. So there's something systemic that's going on in society we need to figure out. We need to help these people live better lives. It'll lead to a more productive
Well,
society.
why don't we have more healthy restaurants other than McDonald's every block? You know, it's
Well, it's the same reason that everybody watches Mr. Olympia open class bodybuilding. People want to be entertained. People want to eat. If given the choice, people will choose the dopamine path than the healthy path. What do you mean healthy restaurants? There's a ton of healthy options at most restaurants. I could go get a salad, a chicken salad at Walmart, or Walmart. Well, yes, Walmart too. Or I was going to say at McDonald's. Don't put the fucking dressing on. That's not tough. But then again, that stupid ass chicken salad at McDonald's is probably also going to be like 10, 15 bucks. And that feels like a bad value. Okay. That feels like dog shit. There are healthy options at most restaurants. People are just choosing not to eat them because they don't want to. That's it. You give people the option, they're probably not going to choose the right option that you want them to choose. If I'm going to Wendy's, I'm getting a fucking Dave's Double, okay? I might get a Frosty. I might get a small fry. Okay, I'm not fucking going to Wendy's to get a fucking salad. That's stupid.
It's consumer driven.
I have the society viewpoint as well. It's not a personal attack that we're aiming at everyone individually and being like, yo, you should feel like shit because you're not fit. We're aiming at like, okay, how can the world, America, function better? Everyone should want to prioritize fitness. That's just plain and simple. And those people.
Yeah, but everybody isn't brought up the same way. Everybody is brought up completely like with different values from what your parents had. You know, most of the time people just get their values from their parents, or maybe if they don't have parents, well, they usually have parents, but like, you know what I'm saying, if they are raised by maybe their uncle, maybe their grandma, they adopt those values instead. And if their caregivers don't have good values, then what are the chances that that person is going to develop their own type of value system? Like if you got like a decent value system, like as a caregiver, chances are you'll probably raise a decent kid. But if you're an asshole, a bitch, a douche, trying to raise a kid, what are the chances that your kid's going to be that? I would probably say higher.
People who are allowing themselves to become overweight and obese and medically obese and just fat and out of shape, that should not be glorified. It shouldn't be pushed to the media as something that is acceptable.
Oh, I mean, how many people in America, percentage of people in America work out consistently? Only 28% of it. Well, 28% of Americans are meeting the physical activity guidelines set by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This is just 28% of Americans are meeting physical activity. This is just physical activity. This isn't working out consistently. Working out consistently could be like just going out and like going for a walk. 10, 20-minute walk every day, or maybe not even every day, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, something like that. It's just not the culture to value that in America. Or even what's this stat? In 2020, 24% of adults in the U.S. met physical activity guidelines for both aerobic and muscle strengthening activities. Less than a quarter. It's just not a value that like that we value in America. We just don't.
Every one of us here is a fitness influencer. Like, I guess we can all agree in that sense that we're going out and saying you should be fit. But I mean, I'm a fitness influencer, and it's like,
What? Are you sure about that?
I promote taking steroids. So it's like, I'm really just saying is make up.
I think everybody in the room collectively was insulted and embarrassed when he said, I'm a fitness influencer. I could feel that through the screen, just through Niall's face. Oh my God.
Your own mind instead of looking at the magazine or going to McDonald's. So there's healthy options out there. You don't have to go to McDonald's, even though you see it in a magazine or you see me taking steroids or they see you being healthy. It's not our job to make sure that they're doing, like, you're trying to say we should herd people into being, like, living your lifestyle.
I think the most important thing is still education, always. But I mean, this realm, there's a lot of education there. There already has been. But I think when I didn't step forward, I thought of a lot of individuals that promoted being fat, but I didn't really know the things that he talked about, where like very important and strong voices were changing the word fit or changing what it means. I didn't really.
But I mean, if you go to the doctor and you're fat as shit, no doctor in America is gonna be like, you're good. It's within this system.
No, the doctors are
no fucking way, bro.
Nah, they are, bro.
Make America healthy.
They're gonna tell you're fat. In health class, 7th grade, I'm sitting in health class, and they're telling me fat is not healthy. I don't see exactly what you guys are seeing, bro.
Because the kids get triggered.
I was
kids are
just
soft.
in school, like,
Oh God, please. The kids get triggered because kids are soft. Oh man, bro, Tiger Fitness just wants to jump to a whole nother topic.
Years ago, dude. It's like I'm 22
Eric
years old. I was in college.
Eric is again struggling to stay on his tiny stool.
Telling me it's not healthy. I go to the doctor, they tell me it's not healthy. I don't see exactly what you guys are saying. Just because one magazine says it's okay to be fat as shit doesn't mean that's this massive epidemic that we need to fix.
As soon as Ozempic came out, everybody lost like 150 pounds. So it was just.
Yeah, for the people that could afford it, buddy. And now a couple years go by, and now there's all these other alternative Ozempic types. Was it GLP-1 type drugs? That whenever you start taking it, a side effect is you start to lose weight.
Just to cope with their lack of actual willpower to lose the weight. As soon as they got an injection that can make them lose weight, what are they doing? Everybody's on Ozempic.
Most of us have some influence to some degree. I don't have millions of followers, but there's people watching me. I taught college class called Total Wellness and Exercise Physiology for years, and I've talked to these people, and they don't know this stuff, and that's why it's so easy for people to think, oh, I don't need to do it, because like you mentioned, education is a big part, so we got to teach them or at least show them. So obviously you don't have to work.
Yeah, but there's no money in education, because if that was the case, everybody would be scrambling to be an educator. But what's everybody scrambling to do? What's the number one job everybody wants in America? Be an influencer. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a streamer. I want to be a personality. Nobody wants to be an educator, or at least conventionally.
Worry about their lives or if they die or not. That's not what we're trying to say, I don't think, right? No one's saying you got to be mad if, oh my gosh, you're overweight. It's more so like, if you have a platform and you can influence these people to some degree, have some value to that.
But dude, I'm saying this, I was just in school and they were preaching the idea that being fat is not healthy, they know, but looking at a fat person and be like, you are like making them feel like shit because they're fat, that's not productive.
Steroid use leads to unrealistic standards. Would the agreeers please step forward?
Oh, steroid use leads to unrealistic standards. Ooh, that's a good one.
I was probably here not too long ago when I was competing in some shows, natural. When Men's Physique came out, like what, 2012, 2013 or something, I was like, wow, dude, I've always wanted to be Olympia, but I'm never gonna get that big because I don't want to take steroids, I'm scared of needles, all these things. My parents would disown me. And then I competed in the shows and thinking like, oh, Men's Physique is out, I can definitely, maybe I can make it there naturally. Competed at nationals like 3 times, and I got 16th plus place. And they don't place anywhere after 16th. So I was just like, damn, I fucking suck.
And honestly, even the 16th place person looks absolutely insane compared to a normal person.
Yeah. And then I was with the coach at the time, and I know this is something that's, I think there are a lot of coaches out there that care about the health of their athletes and their individuals, but there's also those who just care about their athletes being first place. And my coach at the time was saying, if you want to do well, you got to take some shit, bro. And I would keep denying him, like 5 shows, then the last 3 national shows, I just kept denying him. And then he kept pressing things, and he's like, take these aromatase inhibitors. They're going to dry you out. And I'm like, well, bro, I'm getting 16 plus place. I'm never going to get my pro card. It's not a steroid, right? So I can take it. And this is kind of part of the reason why I feel like one of my biggest purposes in life right now is to just educate as much as I can, at least with whatever information I have, whatever information that other people have that are experienced, is because like I didn't know anything about gear, and I took aromatase inhibitors as a natural because it would make me drier on stage, bro. And that shit fucked me up, man. And long story short, there was a lot of other things that happened, but I basically picked myself up long term. And at one point I was like depressed for a year, and my female friends were telling me I should probably look into my mental health. I'm like, it's not my fucking mental health, man. Like my hormones, something's up and I don't know what it is. So I just think the standards, as epic as bodybuilders are nowadays, as much as I love the golden era, like the standards aren't realistic for people that are natural and that want to stay natural.
Yeah, you guys gotta think. As time goes on, physiques will look more and more crazy, because it's not like they're just leaving a steroid version at version 1. No, we're on steroid XYZ version 1.2369420. All right, we're on like the umpteenth version of a steroid, where the goal is to maximize the positives and minimize the negatives. Okay, so with that, the physiques are going to be absolutely crazier. Just look at what the bodybuilders look like 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, like the black and white pictures. They are not the same bodybuilders that we are getting today. We are getting some absolute comic book character level heroes. They all look like they were like drawn, like stylized drawings of humans. The men, all their clavicles are like out fucking here. Their shoulders are like they can't fit through the fucking door. Are you kidding me? It's only going to get more unrealistic.
Whether we like it or not, this shit is going mainstream with steroids, and these kids are f***ing themselves up real bad, and I've seen too many cases of it. So I think the more of us that come out and talk about how to do it correctly and how to mitigate sides and risks and do it the right way, I think that's going to be best for our society moving forward.
You mentioned mental health, and this is something like I know you guys talked about a little bit, but going into the point of like disorders, like we talk about body dysmorphic disorder, not saying someone on steroids gets that just because they want to get bigger, but there's a level that someone get to where they look in the mirror and they think they need to get bigger and get bigger. I think they nicknamed it like manorexia because it obviously affects men way more than women when it comes to
no, it's like bigorexia. I'm never big enough or whatever. Yeah.
getting bigger when it comes to body dysmorphic disorder. And that's associated with like OCD. You have an obsession. I got to get bigger. I look in the mirror. Now I got to run more, burn my cardio. Now I got to lift more. I got to do whatever. Not even just with steroids, but in the general of like getting to that level.
Yep.
And that develops all these habits. So going back to standards or expectations is like, now we get to a point where our mind isn't right. And then that just couples with the physical point, and it's just a revolving door almost.
Do you think that, and I'll kind of direct this towards the natural side, do you think that more of the openness has now actually helped, let's say, natural lifters like yourself to feel like, okay, like I have actually achieved almost what would be the pinnacle for my age, based on the fact that now I know like everybody on that side at whatever age is now enhanced?
I feel like
I'd like to hear from
the
that person.
genetics are really what's going to make a difference, right? He's natural, I'm natural, we look different, right? So I can't really expect to look like him. I think some people really misunderstand that. That genetics have a lot to do with it, right? So I'm never going to look like him. He's not going to look like me. Vice versa, right? So all 4 of us are natural, but we look different. So we probably don't have education enough about understanding that genetics are going to take a big role, right? On how you're going to look, no matter if you're taking steroids or if you're natural.
I'm not God, I don't know everything, obviously. I probably don't even know much. But what I do feel is that back in the day, I think maybe we had the perception that people like maybe Michael Hearn or people that are like really massive and jacked and like maybe on the Olympia stage could potentially be natural.
Why did he just name drop Michael Hearn?
Nowadays, I think it's kind of, I feel like it has flown in the other direction, and I want to believe in the potential of a human body. Like, I think Josh has an insane physique. Like, I want arms like this guy, and I want to believe that that's naturally achievable.
I want to. Did he just out himself? I want to believe that's natural, but I actually don't. Yeah, you, sir, I think you are lying. That's what he just said. Oh, man. I mean, that's not the trend. That's not the trend. What's the trend? America is getting more and more fat. I mean, you know, over the next 4 years, we'll see what Mr. Trump and RFK is going to do about it. Who knows? Jesus. Stop smoking. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, shit. Fucking, you want America to be like fitter or like less fat? Just incentivize being healthy. America's all about money and shit. No, have like just take like a little fit test or something. The better you score on the fit test, the more money we will just give you for being fit. How about that? Oh, we can't do that. Where are we gonna get the money for that? Oh, I mean, well, you can't depend on every individual to be like accountable to themselves because that's not working. All right, it's not. I just showed you the fucking stats. Like about a quarter of the people are only meeting the minimum activity levels or whatever the fuck that thing is. America's one of the fattest countries in the world. Figure it out, America. It's the trend is only going to be, and it's kind of polarizing too. The fatter America gets, the better. Like, and this is as time goes on, America will get more and more like fat, but also that will contribute to the dichotomy and extreme difference between like a fat person and like the best like Olympia IFBB pro person. All right, it's just the amount of gap in between is going to be like massive. It's gonna be massive. That's the trend. It's only gonna get more polarizing.
Yeah, that could be a 1 in a million, but still, it doesn't change my
closer
point.
to 1 in a billion.
It doesn't change my. That doesn't change my point that it is a big controversy on whether or not Josh is natural. Like that's a common thing. You see it in his comments all the time. I feel like half the people don't believe him.
Yeah,
but
I don't fucking believe him.
Part of the reason is because now it's skewed in the other direction where
I mean, if he actually is great, but I mean, okay.
We don't believe, where a lot of people who are witnessing social media in the fitness space believe everyone's a fake natty sometimes.
Yes.
And I think that sucks because that ruins the hope of a lot of people or kids that want to become better.
Yeah, and to speak on kids, it is a problem. I own a youth performance facility. All these kids expect to put on like 40 pounds in 2 months. Right. Then you have to bring them down to reality. Like you're not going to do what these guys do because you're an athlete and you're going to be tested. And honestly, you don't need to take it. You're a teenager. Right. So the problem is they see these unrealistic people and they think they can get there. Then they get disappointed when they don't get those kind of gains. So it's one of those things, but it's always been there. I thought Arnold was natural when I was a kid.
Right.
Like
too.
As a kid, I didn't really care, or I didn't. Number one, I didn't understand, and number two, I don't think I cared. about the dichotomy of natural versus unnatural. Like learning that Arnold Schwarzenegger did steroids, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I think that's what clicked in my little kid head. I was like, well, I wasn't a little kid, but like by the time I learned it, I was like maybe like a teenager or something, and I was like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah. It's not like this crazy the Santa's not real, the Tooth Fairy's not real, the Easter Bunny's not real moment. I was like, okay, yeah, that's probably true.
Regardless, the gains are not across the board equally.
Yeah, but I didn't see anything wrong with that. Here's why. At the time, when I thought Arnold was natural, I thought I just needed to train harder.
Right.
Like, I'm not training hard enough. I'm not big enough.
No, because when I learned that Arnold wasn't natural, I was like, oh, well, if Arnold's not natural and he won, all those other dudes are doing that contest, so they must be on it too. So, oh, okay, that's fine.
Right. So I think that's a double-edged sword, but the kids are a problem. Like, I own gyms, and I see what these kids are doing. These kids are blasting cycles at 16, 17 years old. So there is definitely, where there's positives, we're talking about the positives.
Yeah, the small minority of kids. I think more kids don't do steroids than do steroids. I mean, just look at the stats. More people are not in the gym than are in the gym, so it's very easy to understand that just because you own like a couple gyms and the vibe that you see right in front of you is all the kids are doing cycles and they're 16, 17, 18. Oh, that must mean all kids are doing. It's like, no, not really. It's just there right in front of you. But that's not like the majority. I mean, shit, honestly, more kids are probably at home playing Fortnite and shit than blasting steroids.
Positives, negatives. There are definitely negatives to having a steroid culture.
Like, I think that if anyone works hard to become, like, say, as big as Josh, and then someday they just never get there, they're not gonna, like, just off themselves. Like, I don't think the depression or, like, the emotional effect from that is gonna be enough versus saying to this person from the very beginning, you will never get there, you might as well not try, unless you take steroids.
Yeah. Right. I think the big problem in general is just the idea of comparing yourself to somebody, first of all. That is a whole subject for another time. But outside of that, I think the whole unrealistic idea behind being natural and achieving a physique that is somewhat steroid-esque is, I don't agree with that, because the fact of the matter is, and I don't care who doesn't believe me, I've never touched an enhancement, steroid, PED, whatever you want to call it, and I've been training for 14 years, almost half my life. The fact of the reality is, it is very real. I know genetics play a huge role in it, and not everyone is genetically gifted or things like that, but the fact of the matter is there are natural phenomenal people out there, phenoms, and their physiques look incredible. I believe Simeon Panda's natural. I believe Ulysses
No.
Jr. is natural. I believe
Who?
I know genetics play a huge role in it, and not everyone is genetically gifted or things like that, but the fact of the matter is there are natural phenomenal people out there, phenoms, and their physiques look incredible. I believe Simeon Panda's natural. I believe Ulysses Jr. is natural.
Well, bro, way to literally out yourself.
I believe Addie Ray is natural. All these guys who are literally magnificent in their size and stature. And it's just a fact, it's a matter of the natural community is not as big as it should be, in my opinion, in that we're not causing these freaks of nature naturally to come forward and to give the natural community a new standard. And so that unrealistic thing and like the standards, I think.
No, you literally said it yourself. You're an outlier. Why should you be the standard? You're an outlier.
Natural community in bodybuilding has a huge standard that is just not stressed enough. And that's why it's considered down here.
Probably.
As much as I love them and everything, it's just the natty or nots when you do them, when you create a video like that, it pops off.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons for this skewing.
Can the disagreeers please step forward?
You got Chizzy and Togi.
Good for my posture.
Shizzy's natural.
What the fuck did Niall say? It's got to be good for your posture. You got to sit up, man.
I last year, and Shizzy looked way better than me. So it's like, I don't see where the false standard is within the steroid users. Like you can.
He is literally in full character mode, 100% contrarian mode. That is the character, guys. Togi is contrarianism, like to the fullest. If everyone else is walking, I'm not walking. If everybody is walking, I'm just gonna stay. Whatever.
Push the limit and look like Shizzy.
It's a good time to interject, which I found amusing, but I also kind of had the same thought, is a lot of the people on staff here, they thought you guys were the enhanced group individuals, which is kind of, I mean.
Yeah. This just goes to show you what you got to remember. Normal people, normies are normies. They don't go to the gym. Anybody that regularly goes to the gym looks like a steroid person.
So I guess
The moment I knew Josh was going on, I had to wear an oversized.
Yeah, so I think, I guess the question I have is then follow up to that, just kind of keep it within this whole argument, is like, how do you guys feel, especially on the enhanced side, like with the staff thinking that was like they were actually the enhanced side?
That's a really good question.
I think because you can't, what's it, an outlier doesn't it make an exception, a rule or something?
Yeah.
These guys are outliers,
Yeah.
bro. These dudes aren't walking around, like, you know.
Yeah.
The reason why, no, it's the truth.
Plus,
Bro, the reason why you're so popping and the reason why you guys have social media clout is because you look so good.
when you look at Sean naturally, and he steps on stage, or you look at Josh when he steps on the Muscle Mania stage, versus if you look at me or maybe you when you competed on the pro stage, there's a vastly different look that we have.
Okay, so people that are like in the biz of bodybuilding, they can tell the difference. Normal people, they can't tell. It just looks like everybody has round shoulders, everyone got big arms, everyone's got big ass legs and whatnot. Like if there's like obviously like normal people can tell like the difference between like a small jacked person and like a gigantic Ronnie Coleman type person. Yeah, like when the difference is like that big. But like for the most part, if you're jacked, you just look like you look the same as the other muscle guy, dude. It's like this is a whole different reality. This is the different reality that these guys aren't like realizing.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to tell you something. You guys know, everyone who knows me personally knows that I'm always talking about what I'm thinking. I'm never holding anything back, and I've been saying I'm curious about gear because of all the accusations that I get. You're not natural. Oh, but what if?
Yep.
So what that makes me want to do is do it and shut everybody up, shut the whole place down, and then all of a sudden, that was right. He was right. And now you get the same feeling. You had it too, right?
Yeah, and I think
that's why I wanted to know. I was curious if you would take that back. If you would take that decision back.
I think that's a hard thing for me to say, but honestly, I would just say no because my life now is like revolves around this as my career.
And so I want to say the gym craps us like we're swords, bro. Like a man goes in the gym, you go in there cocky, the weight humbles you. You leave different. And a kid who's 16, 17 blasting gear, he's gonna learn the ways of the weights, bro. It teaches men something. I genuinely believe that if they just need a little bit more education, a little more love, bro, keep it real, they just need some love.
I don't think they need gear, they need training.
They need training, education.
I mean, they need weights, they need to do hard stuff.
Right.
Kids are soft.
And these phones.
Oh god. Is Tiger Fitness the only one that said kids are soft? Was that like the second time?
Phone sets and stuff, like they're not really in the gym. That's another thing.
Phone sets, that's funny. Straight up.
No, I'm with you. I think kids need to do hard things. They need to face adversity, and that's what the weights give them. That's what we do at my facility, right? But you don't need gear to get that. Like, I trained for 27 years completely natural.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like when I was a little kid, and you know, to some degree I was lucky that I had like a mom and a dad that like kind of gave a shit about what I did. You know, they let me go into like playing soccer for a little bit, let me go into playing baseball. I was like kind of active as a kid, you know. I would ride my bike to my friend's house. We would play Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and then whenever we got bored, we would go outside and like play football, and then whenever we get tired of that, we'd probably go inside and play Madden NFL Blitz, and then we would go inside and play Super Smash Brothers, and then whenever we got tired of that, we'd go outside and play Manhunt, run around and fuck around in the woods, and like play with fucking Star Wars like lightsabers and damn near beat each other like to like purple fingers and all that shit. Yeah, you don't need steroids to do all that shit.
And I loved it. It was great. Nothing changed. Nothing really changed. I just got amplified results. But like, there's the active weights do not require steroids. Nothing's worse than a steroid lifter, where you need to be on gear to train hard. If you're not training hard without gear, you're gonna be a shitty steroid user.
Bodybuilding has improved my sex life.
Oh, that's a good question.
The agreeers, please step forward.
Was this all agree?
Yeah, so I'll just say bodybuilding in general, or just getting in fitness, like what I do for a living is I teach younger men how to be more confident and talk to women. Without bodybuilding, that would have never happened. So before bodybuilding, I think I've had sex with 1 or 2 girls. It's a whole lot more now.
One key point we need to address is the confidence that we build as we continue to better ourselves in the gym through bodybuilding. Before I got into fitness in general, I was small. I was the pushover, I was the small fry, and I got picked on for it. So I finally reached that rock bottom to the point where I decided I wanted to make a change, and I got into training. And before that, and for a long time, I was just very shy. Ladies would talk to me, but I would not give them any kind of, pushback at all. I had no game, no kind of confidence in myself. because I had the dark clouds over me all the time, just people making me feel like I'm very small, and I was. And I finally came out of that. I began to feel a lot better about myself. And I'm to the point right now where my confidence cannot be shaken. I don't care who it is. You cannot convince me that I'm not the guy. And I think that radiates in my
that's the main character energy.
And get to that point.
You are the guy.
I am
the literal guy.
I think we all know.
He's the guy. Anybody else?
Well, the interesting thing is when I was younger, same thing.
I mean, yeah, this is the story of like most guys. When you're a little kid, it's normal for you to be like skinny. You're about the same, like nobody has hit puberty yet. You're about the same physical capability as like a girl. You guys can both run about the same speed and jump height and all that shit. It's only when puberty kicks in does there start to like change and all that physical ability shit. This isn't new.
Similar story. I'm from Romania. I'm from Romania, so when I moved to the U.S., I was picked on a lot. I was a little scrawny kid, so going to the gym is what gave me the confidence, made me feel better. The women looked at me much different, like, okay, this guy's the alpha male, not the
they catch
little,
that aura.
Right, not the little scrawny kid
The
that
aura?
can speak English. So what I didn't live in L.A., where L.A., it's okay if
Oh
you can
my
speak
God.
different languages, right? I lived in a smaller town in Michigan, so a lot of the guys were like pounding on me, they're the alpha guys. Once I started lifting and I started getting, stronger, all of a sudden I stood stronger,
I think there are some very few cases where bodybuilding can hurt your sex life. I think some of you guys can think of some cases, like say that you get way too stage lean, or you've been way too stage lean for too long, and that affects your hormones.
Oh, that's the worst.
This might be a good point to bring over the disagreeers because obviously
I forgot they were
they're disagreeers. Let's step forward because we'd love to hear before we start to maybe get into the potential negatives. I'd love to hear from them.
So I disagreed because when I was at my peak physique doing physique shows, about 5-6%, shredded at about 190, honestly, the most attention I actually got from other guys like, hey man, how I get like you and all this, because I heard your story, talked about like overcoming bullying and stuff, and I guess maybe it's biased for me. I was 6'1", 180 going into high school. I was playing varsity, so that was never a thing for me. So getting bigger or more jacked never really played into my confidence per se.
I was skinny exactly like Joshua when I first started, and it was just 3 years ago. So I saw the transformation really fast, and I've seen the confidence boost. I've seen the success I was able to get just from being more disciplined. I wouldn't say it's just because of the physique. Just going to the gym, actually training hard, she taught me like discipline and actually being able to stick to something. And I've definitely seen what you guys said when it comes to like women and stuff. The reason why I didn't step forward is just because I'm religious. So when it comes to like actually doing the act, I don't really do it, but I've definitely seen the benefits of being in shape and actually building the physique.
Hey, respect.
Bro, you are a natural bodybuilder. I don't think this dude understood the question. It's like bodybuilding has improved my sex life, not steroids have improved my sex life. Maybe he just didn't understand. Whatever. Yeah. Go to the gym, get some muscles, burn some fat, gain some muscle. Yeah, you'll fuck better. Whoop-de-fucking do. Go do it.
Dude, respect.
Respect.
Thank you. But yeah, that's mainly why I didn't step forward.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, how do you do that? Like,
What
do you mean?
Like, how do you stay pure?
Honestly, just
You just do. I mean, who knows if he's like actual natty or whatever. But like, what do you mean pure? You're saying it's like, how do you stay pure, man?
it's a matter of, well, if you haven't done it before, I don't think it's gonna be hard to not do it. Same with like going back to steroids and stuff. If you haven't done them before, you're not gonna be addicted to actually doing it.
For sure.
So I feel like it's pretty much the same thing. I've never actually done it, so I don't really see the point of.
So what are the benefits you'd say that maybe you have on others? Is it, you think, emotionally?
I would say probably. I wouldn't be able to tell you, to be honest. I haven't done it before, but I'd say I wouldn't be able to answer, to be honest, bro.
But it just doesn't look like it's worth your time.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm really, probably more focused on what I'm doing. I feel like the only reason I've only been doing this, like I said, 3 years. I've been posting content just for a year now, and I'm a lot more disciplined, I would say, than others. And I'm not talking about like anyone here, but just maybe because of the fact that I don't have that distraction. I'm just on my own thing.
What religion do you practice, if you don't mind?
Islam.
Islam?
There's no such thing as too much muscle.
I think there's no such thing as too much muscle.
There we go.
I mean, look at you. This is awesome. That's like the most muscle you could get as a human being, pretty much. Like, how much you weigh right now?
280.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of muscle. Yeah. I mean, there's no such thing as too much muscle. I mean, there probably is. From like, okay, I'll say this. From like an looks or aesthetics perspective, there's probably no such thing. As far as like an actual, this is the most amount of muscle you can stick on a human body before you will just like die or whatever. I mean, we've seen like a ton of examples of like powerlifters, strongmen that are just like 400 plus pounds. Remember like Ronnie Coleman, the king of bodybuilding. We see Eric right here. There's lots of different versions of the most amount of muscle you can fit on a human body, but like there's a lot of other health risks and factors that take into place when you have like that much muscle on there. You know, you have to be able to maintain that. You got to be able to consume enough food. He probably has like sleep apnea, so you have to get like a good night's sleep. You probably have to go sleep with the fucking mask or whatever. It's also kind of annoying to like eat food a lot to maintain the look of all of that. Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as too much. I mean, again, from a looks perspective, probably no, but like practically, realistically, yes, there's probably a point of, yeah, that's too much.
There's nobody bigger than this, and do you feel like you have too much muscle? Like, that's the biggest.
Yeah, here we go.
This is the biggest there is, unless it's like 0.00001. Like, to the world, this is the biggest.
It's a little different though, because my height being 6'1". I mean, I think there's way bigger guys in terms of like mass.
Yeah, like Nick Walker, but if you like, first of all, Nick
Or
Walker.
anybody really that can step on the Olympia stage. All those Olympia competitors are absolutely just like muscle every which way. No weaknesses. Ugh.
Alive, he's super rich and successful because he has that much muscle, and he seems like he's probably pretty happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the reason I step forward is because I'm pretty sure you're training really hard. I'm not sure. I don't think you're like holding yourself, you know, at 80% not to get too big. I think you're training to fail. You're pushing yourself hard enough. So I don't think even if you wanted to get too much muscle, you wouldn't be able to. So in my opinion, there's no such thing as too much muscle. You know, I train really hard every single day, especially naturally. You're not going to be able to get anywhere.
I mean, and also to be specific, we're probably just talking about musculoskeletal muscle. You know, your heart is a muscle, and your heart can get too big. And yeah, tons of people have died from too big a heart. I mean, in that respect, yeah, but you know, too much musculoskeletal muscle. I mean, it looks cool. It does. Who gives a shit? Go work out.
We're close to you, you know. So I don't think there's anything as too much muscle.
So you're talking more from like a physiological.
Yeah, like when's the last time you heard someone say, "Oh, that's too much"? Oh, like some of those like videos of like the dude interviewing like a group of girls, and when they all got like the torso pictures of like dudes of like the fat guy and like at the bottom corner, and then there's like the picture of like the, I don't know, Ronnie Coleman type body where it's like the most muscle, and it's like, which is your favorite type of body? And they'll pick something like in the middle because that's like the most reasonable pick or whatever. You don't want to look like you have no standards and pick the complete fat guy, but you don't want to look absolutely crazy and you only want like the 0% body fat, like the most muscle guy. You know,
Logical or health perspective, like it's almost an impossibility to get like too much muscle to be like disadvantageous for your health. Is that what you're?
Yeah, exactly. Like I have clients coming up to me and they tell me I don't want it to be too big, and trust me, you know, I've been trying to get too big for years now. So I haven't been doing it for a while, of course, but like it's really hard to get there. So I wouldn't say like there's anything as too much muscle. Yeah.
I'll chime in here. That clarified it.
Yeah.
So physiologically attainable, yeah, I guess there is no such thing. I mean, but if you're looking at the overall health ramifications of it, yeah, there is such thing, because your body still has to pump to that. So from a physiologically attainable standpoint, like you trying to get as big as possible, yeah, keep trying to get bigger. You're not going to get too big. However, will that distort your look? Will that distort that beautiful waist of yours? Will that distort your size? So yeah, I guess we could say there's not too much muscle. There's no way to get too much muscle, physiologically speaking. Mm-hmm. But let's say they unlock a myostatin gene. Say we're able to inhibit that. You can just keep growing like those damn cows.
Oh yeah, the steroid cows. Oh, let me see. If you guys haven't seen this, oh, it's absolutely crazy. Steroid cows. Images. Yeah, like, yeah. Are you kidding? Well, I don't even, honestly, god damn it. I don't even know if this is AI anymore. That damn muscle filter. You know, big old cow, big old balls. Another juiced cow. Probably something a little more realistic, but still, that's fucking massive. Are you kidding me? Steroid cow, it looks like a tumor. With the balls on that thing. Okay, come on. That's what the fuck? But this is what I'm getting at.
Absurd, right? Like, so it depends on the nuance of that question. Physiologically speaking, I try to get bigger every day. Do you try to get bigger every day? Everybody back there tries to get bigger every day.
Yeah.
I'm 44. I've been doing this for over 30 years. This is all I got. So physiologic, inhibitions in there, yeah, there's no such thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like it's not even possible to get there, so it's not an issue. Yeah.
How many times do people grab your arms in public?
Probably too many.
I was walking
Too
off
many
the
to
plane,
count.
Flight attendant just broke me.
It's weird.
That's awesome.
It's crazy how people think that's like just completely.
But if I went and grabbed a woman's, I'd be arrested. She didn't grab
Yeah, but like an arm isn't sexualized the same way a boob is. Come on.
my balls, but I mean, you get my point.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it is awesome. You stand out. And let's be honest, everyone here stands out, and we like it.
Yeah.
Can the disagreeers please come forward?
Toji today.
Let's go. First one. Or actually, no. There's been a few.
No, we've been.
Yeah, there's a lot actually.
I want to go off of what Mark just said about physiologically. So let's talk about like body's homeostasis, always trying to find balance. And now that we live in a modern world where we got grocery stores, TV, social media, I use the term I say there's no more saber-toothed tigers. So we don't have to worry about the everyday dangers. My man right here, Sean, he said survival of the fittest. Once upon a time, there was a limit to how much muscle you need because muscle takes energy to exist, right? So it's like, I guess to an extent, someone mentioned preference. I think you mentioned preference. So it's like, yeah, there's a preference, but I think there's a level where, am I just doing this because I want to get bigger versus like, do I need to get bigger? Because everyone here is above, I would say 98% of the world, not even country, world, to some degree, whether it's strength, look, aesthetic. But do you need more?
The reason I disagree with
The utility argument versus aesthetic argument. I mean, yeah, you could say, but like, yes, like the big muscle dude can, like, has more capacity to do some things than the less muscle dude and whatnot. But I don't know. That's just too like granular. I don't feel like talking about it.
them is, I'm just taking this as literally that statement alone. In that statement, there is no reference to what you guys were stating, right? That statement alone, in the world, can you have too much muscle? Yes, you can. It can be really unhealthy.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's
Agreed.
I would even just say, like,
Okay, then what's too much muscle?
obviously not to throw a stab at you, Eric, but 9 out of 10 people will probably say you have too much muscle. You know what I mean? And so, like, a lot of people say to me, I have too much muscle, and I don't even think I'm like that big. But I know to an extent, I am obviously much larger than the average person. So in that aspect, yeah, I can get down with that. I think you could have too much. Like, you're huge, dude. You look like an action figure. You know what I mean? Like,
Just glazing left and right.
got into bodybuilding and steroids, I guess you could say, knowing I would never really look like that, so that I kind of X'd that out. But like, yeah, I don't know. I can.
You were robbed, Eric. You were robbed.
100% agree with that.
Like for me, I think like
sure.
your size would be the goal for me. Like if I could have shoulders and traps and shit like that. But like, you gotta be honest. Like how much muscle you put on, like the health risks that you took to get there, and to be able to put on more. Because you said, is there such thing as like too much muscle? If you want to put on more muscle, all that shit you're gonna have to do is just, you know it's gonna be a lot more damage to your body. So I do believe that, yeah, there is such thing as like too much muscle when it comes to the health side.
Absolutely.
I kind of want to side with Niall here as far as like, generally, can there be such thing as too much muscle? Yes. And I'll use Larry Wheels, who's a friend of mine, as an example, who I'm sure the majority of you here know Larry Wheels. And I'm saying this because he's already spoken on this to the public. It's not like I'm, breaching privacy. But he was once so big to the point where he was in the mall going up stairs. I can't remember how big the flight of stairs was, but he got to the top and he had to rest for a second and recollect his breath.
Damn.
Because he was out of breath. And then there are times when it just becomes to the point where you can no longer function as a basic human being. Too much muscle to the point where you can't even wipe yourself after going to the toilet.
Yeah.
There's a point where it's too much and you can't be comfortable in the way how big you are.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a pretty good point too. I mean, you have to be able to like function in life, to just do basic human things. But after that little stair incident, did Larry immediately like rethink his whole like life? He's like, oh, maybe I should downsize after that fucking stairs. No, I don't think that happened.
I think all the things you said in the latter half are definitely true for sure. In terms of him walking up the stairs and being out of breath, there are a lot of people that can get big, and you just work on your cardiovascular health. There's a lot of things that you can do to work on your cardiovascular
Well, yeah,
health.
I mean, we're all saying you feel you're too big to wipe your own ass. I'm saying Eric is the biggest, and he says he feels great. How are we gonna put words in some like?
Yeah, but that's just one example. I mean, that's just one example, dude. You can't base the entire concept on one example. I mean, that's just not how consensus works.
We've
can wipe
never
your own
felt
ass.
like we don't know what it's like to be that
But
big.
if I installed in every bathroom in my house, no, I can't. Thank God. I think some of it does lend itself to, like I said, being a taller guy. But I think even would consider myself an intelligent human to know the fact that, like, this size is not healthy long term. Like, you know, there is a plan. You know, 35, start downsizing to like closer to 240. Probably by 40, closer to like 220, 215. Probably do the whole like Greg Doucette version of just doing more like aerobic type activity. The unfortunate circumstance is like my brand has grown exponentially based on the size. And believe me or not, most people don't, like, on way less gear than most people would assume that I'm taking, just because genetic predisposition is a huge thing. And it's not just based on, you know, like just on how you train, but how you respond to whatever you're taking, whatever you're putting in your body, you're going to respond to differently. So I just happen to be somebody that takes less and gets more out of it. Almost anybody that knows me too or has trained with me knows I train kind of like a psychopath in terms of like the intensity or the length of my sets. So, and I do take a lot of pride in that, and I think that's kind of like now it's hard for me because like based on the blood work, based on going and doing a full like echocardiogram, EKG, everything's perfect. So it's like there's not much for me to be like, oh, like I'm gonna die tomorrow if I don't like downsize. So, and plus the brand is built off that. But I do want to take myself out of this. I am the moderator. But to bring it back down to baseline, I think if we were to say, like, I think there's an agreement that there's an amount of muscle from a health perspective that becomes disadvantageous from a just for pure health reasons, correct?
Agree. Yeah, but with
I'm saying health and
everything.
look.
But looks wise, you can be as big as you as you can, always. From a looks perspective, just get bigger. You can always be bigger.
Much water too, so it's like, is that really relevant to this? Because there's too much of everything.
So I think the more interesting part of the conversation, since I think across the board we pretty much agree on that, from a just communal kind of aesthetic to the eye, let's go to that part of it, because I think that's the more interesting conversation of like, is there too much muscle from like an aesthetics perspective? Because I think personally for me, like, yes, I think there is, and I mean, maybe I would even fall into that. So I'm very interested, just if we eliminate the health perspective, is like too much muscle from an aesthetics perspective can be problematic.
Yes. Based upon, what do you mean by problematic though?
I would say maybe like less attractive.
For sure, for sure. And there are things that I can pick at right now generally. Bigger guys tend to have they can't even put their arms down, and they look.
But yes, they can. Stop.
Like the thumbs from Spy Kids.
The thumbs?
Not like nothing negative against them, but they're built to the point where they don't look like they can walk around and be like they can't do a high jump, they can't quickly take off, they can't perform.
Yeah, but we're talking about looks, not function.
And that to me is like
That's crazy that he pulled out the thumbs from Spy Kids. That is actually hilarious. Kudos to him for the thumbs. Let me fucking remember. Oh my god. Thumbs. Spy Kids. Oh my god. Look at this. What the fuck? Oh my god. How did he just pull this shit off and remember this?
very unappealing. A blocky waist, unappealing. Too much muscle to where they can't put their arms down, unappealing. Where they can no longer walk straight and they have to walk around their big inner thighs. You're not like that. I'm not shooting shots at you right now, but there are guys who are
Yeah, we're talking about like aesthetics.
bigger than you and just much bigger in general on the Olympia stage in bodybuilding who, exhibit these traits.
And it's just not aesthetic to you.
Yeah, everyone has a different type for sure, but the more, I think, I'm trying to figure out a way to say this correctly because I might just butcher this, but the more, like, the average person there's a greater percentage of people attracted to the average, if that makes sense. So the more that we veer from the average, the more that we are extreme, the smaller the percentage of people that we're attractive to.
Do you guys agree with that?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
What is average?
Do you think we're less attracted to the
Versus
the most attractive
supermodel?
supermodel?
okay. Here we go. Now we're gonna get some real talking points. Oh my God.
So like, I don't remember, like, the reason why it's hard for me to say this is because I don't remember the exact study, but there was a study pertaining to how, like, for example, someone around, say, a 12% body fat percentage tended to be more attractive to people closer to their body fat percentage. It's just an example.
Maybe you just feel more intimidated by that person. That's somebody like him. You
We kind of like to be around
I mean, this is so like a subjective thing, though.
people that were alike. And if it's your partner, I'm sure you would want to have some similarities with them.
For sure.
It's kind of true with appearance as well.
Natural bodybuilding is the future.
No, because they can't even get it right now. Cope.
The way the world has viewed bodybuilding together as a whole, it's been going on for I don't know how long. I'm not going to say I know exactly when bodybuilding started, but it's gotten to the point where it is now, and we have all these extreme athletes by the way they look, and I think the world has gotten a glimpse of what the pinnacle looks like, what the peak looks like, and I think it's becoming, maybe not now, but it'll get to a point where it starts to die down. It'll become stale. Because there's like nothing really more to expect, especially with C-Bum having just retired. I don't think there's a lot of excitement as much as there was in the past in the golden era. And as a matter of fact, I just watched Pumping Iron.
But no, if anything, it is more. There's more like engagement now because more people are on the internet, more people are more active, more top level bodybuilders have like YouTubes promoting like bodybuilding and whatever. No, that is not the case. I think open like, or what is it? I think it'll probably go something like this. Brush, color. Why does this do this? I think it'll be like, if this is like steroid bodybuilding, everything's like linear. I think natty's like natty bodybuilding, it will also go up. It will just happen. I don't think natty bodybuilding will ever equal this. This will always be more popular. It's just people want to be entertained. They want to see the biggest. They want to see what's possible. They want to see the one guy. They want to see the most muscle, the most shredded. They want to see negative body fat percent.
Like 3 days ago, and I was witnessing the crowd in the movie. There were children, ladies, adults going to these shows who had no idea what bodybuilding was before having gone to the show. So with that being said, there was excitement and there was like a pull there, and there's no longer that pull. The crowd is not giving standing ovations, clapping, cheering, having a good time. They know what to expect. They come to see what they know will be there, and then they leave. But there's no longer a general pulling theme to the bodybuilding world that I feel like natural bodybuilding, which in my opinion is, like I said earlier, the only real form of bodybuilding, can bring. Natural bodybuilding and natural bodybuilders are underestimated.
Where's all the money? Where's all the clicks? Where's all the views? It's in the enhanced side.
And the fact that myself and bodybuilders like Shizzy and bodybuilders like Simeon Panda, who I believe to be natural, exist, I think the more emphasis we put onto the natural side of the sport, And with that being said, I know IFBB is now having natural qualifiers, and they're doing so many more natural shows. So there's definitely a push for it. Is there as much of a push as I believe there should be? No, not yet. But I think that the recognition is coming out, and it's there now, and that's happening for a reason. So I feel as though once more emphasis is put there, that will cause, like I said, more natural phenoms to come forward and really bring that kind of dynamic entry to the sport, which will catapult it into the limelight.
I hope so. Let's let the disagreeers come forward.
Yeah, doubt. X2 doubt.
There's no bigger proponent of naturals having their own organization as me. There's no one bigger. We just need the right person to do it. The right person to do it, that's the Manions and Weinbergers. They've done it with enhanced bodybuilding. I think naturals should have their own playing field. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That naturals should have their own lane, their own ballpark.
It's like controller versus M&K. Give the M&K bros their own league for whatever game. Give the controller bros their own league for their own game. All right? Equal but separate. This is like one of the few instances where that statement is actually like good.
Okay? But to think that it's ever going to be as, and I hope it is, right? That would be great. Everybody eats, right? I just don't think there's the means nor the viewership to do it right now.
Yeah.
But I have to have.
Natural bodybuilding is like the WNBA. Don't get pissed when the women don't show up for the WNBA. Don't get pissed when nobody shows up for the natural bodybuilding show.
Have faith in it. I will say not right now.
Yes. I'm going to say that too.
I think there is always the potential. Like there's heads like you guys who I think are making natural bodybuilding pretty dope. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously it's going to be hard, but I think you can always just fight for it, try to be a good representation, and maybe it'll help.
Agreed.
I mean, realistically, there's no way. Like, you can't go from watching freaks at 280. The only way it would happen is if somebody that was natural beat all of the enhanced people. Because, like, there's no way you're just gonna step down your standard.
But what if
you guys are thinking so micro? Like, we need these organizations to play this game. If you look at like the macroeconomic for the whole thing, you want to see bigger, you want to see freakier, and people are always going to gravitate towards more aggressive.
Yeah. And then if that natural beats everyone, then no one would believe him.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, that double-edged sword again. You know, you get it worse than anybody, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not anybody, but pretty bad.
These three right here. 1, 2, 3 down the line. I mean, you're gonna get it way worse down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hate comment as soon as we're done here.
Love to see it, but yeah, I totally agree with Doji. Like, there's absolutely no reason to actually watch something that's, I wouldn't say like less good, because, you know, of course it's less impressive. Just, you know, everybody usually like out, you know, he mentioned baseball, basketball, everything keeps going up, and I feel like as humans, you know, we always want to keep going up. That's the way it is. So even if there was a way to actually make it work, you know, natural shows, tested everything, there's not going to be the viewership for it because there's the Olympia.
So one of the main reasons that it will never work is because if the Olympics can't even get it right, what hope does Joe Schmo's natural bodybuilding organization have? If the literal USADA and WADA can't even get it right. All right? There was that Netflix documentary on Icarus called Icarus. Those guys can be corrupt. Those guys can lie and cheat the system. Joe Schmo Natural Organization, they got no chance. Absolutely not. The Olympics can't even get this right.
Level athletes, which are going to continue getting better.
Have you guys heard of the enhanced games?
Yes.
What do you think about it?
It's basically the Olympics with steroids.
Oh, I did hear about that. That came out recently.
Yeah, it's the problem is you're not going to get top tier Olympians, so they're still going to get shitty times.
Yeah.
It's just basically a bunch of dad bods with drugs running.
I would probably kill it.
That's great. Well, I will go back.
Yeah, I heard about that too. The enhanced games. I wonder when it's actually going to come out. That's funny if that's actually just a bunch of dad bods doing drugs.
The triathlon match.
He was just making as humans, we all want like the wow factor. We want to see, we want to be astonished, feel astonished, and I think that's going to be the thing continuing to drive people toward the regular Olympia itself. But then again, at the same time, I have to come back to the point of the natural phenomena that are out there, and that they're just like, we don't have the platform to really highlight.
Yeah, but the best natty ever looks so much worse than C-Bomb.
Okay, but would you pay to see or like want to see, like say like me and Josh, like just go head to head, who's fucking better?
Not versus C-Bum and Dude though.
Yeah. That's true though.
Yeah.
Almost had him. Had him in the first half.
I mean, great, yeah, okay.
It's kind of like the
I'll pay for that though.
the WNBA.
I'd watch it.
Who said that? The WNBA of bodybuilding? I literally just said that.
You guys are not. Yeah, right. I just wouldn't choose
Fucking
it
Niall.
over.
But like, there's people out there bigger than us though, that are natural too.
But
Yeah.
they're not bigger than C-Bum. That's
sleeping.
the main reason. Like, they can get to a next level.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
absolutely, you can get amazing to an amazing level, but it's
You don't
never
know
gonna
what
be-
we pull out of there, man.
I think
This is
Bodybuilding, I think, is it's about absolutes. It's not about relative. People want to see the absolute biggest, the most absolutely shreddedest person. They don't want to have to worry about like the categories of, oh, you know, this is the enhanced category, this is the natty category, this is these guys took like these little baby steroids, these guys take all the steroids, and even more so in the divisions among each of them. People just don't give a shit about that. They want to see the one thing. That's why so many people show up for the one Super Bowl. It's not about the fucking like playoffs or like the grand finals of like best of 7. Okay, nobody gives a shit about that. They care about the one game, the one thing, the one time, the one category, the one division. The more simple you can make it for the massive amounts of people, the more people you're going to be able to attract. And that's going to be with open, enhanced bodybuilding.
this might be kind of a hot take, but I think shit that's dangerous and shit that's risky, right? Isn't that like a level of masculinity or something, or like a micro masculinity, right?
Micro masculinity? What?
I think that should also attracts people.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
bodybuilding is a fucking dangerous sport. And
I mean, what was the coolest thing to watch in the Roman Empire? It was the gladiator fights. That was peak entertainment back then. We don't have that now, but I guarantee you if we brought gladiator fights back, everybody would be watching that. I mean, we kind of do with like the UFC. Everyone likes watching that shit. But, I mean, people don't really die in the UFC. I mean, I think maybe they do, like once in a blue moon, but not really. I guarantee you, bro, UFC versus the gladiator fights, and it's like life or death. People don't give a shit about little old piddly UFC. They want to see the big risk, big reward, life or death, gladiator fight. That's what people would watch.
I think that's one of the reasons too why, like, you look at Chris Bumstead, for example, versus natural. Aside from like the look of the physique, that's some hard shit that he does.
Yeah.
Like blood work twice or 2 times a week. How many? I mean, the fact that he's like at risk of whatever the fuck he's at risk for, and he has a family and he cares about his daughter, and like, I don't know, it's pretty fucking intense. So
I don't give a shit. Me as a viewer or like as an audience member watching the sport of bodybuilding, I don't give a shit about the risk. It's not my life up there. I don't give a shit. I just want to be entertained. That's what I care about. And that's what everybody else cares about too.
Okay, we're gonna do something a little different, a little fun now. You guys are gonna come forward and write on this piece of paper who you think has the best physique here, and you can put your own name as well. So please come on up.
What is
and
this
write down
one?
Who you think has the best physique in the room?
Oh, here we go.
Natty dudes is gonna make us look bad, bro.
Bro, how hilarious would it be if everyone just puts their own name? This would be like the same, what do you call it? The same thing as like, would it be? Nah, I was gonna say this. It's the same thing as like women do whenever they gas themselves up, like in public. But maybe it won't be. I don't know. What is this, like fucking Survivor? This is my choice because X, Y, Z. Oh my god. No, who was that, John?
I want to put Shizzy, but
Everybody step forward.
Don't sit in that chair. You're about to get crushed.
You want to sit next to him?
So I'm putting so much, putting so much weight on my feet.
You get crushed.
All right. So just got curious to see who'd you guys think won?
Bro, watch one person put Eric's name in there. He's like, guys, I'm the moderator.
If you had to guess.
Josh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Josh. So I voted for.
Josh was in fact the winner. So I just love to hear your guys' thoughts on. Obviously, coming from the natural side, you might be probably surprised coming from a group of both natural and enhanced guys that the natural athlete was actually the most preferred physique. What do you guys think about that? Is there any like thoughts or?
I think it's because he's natural.
Bro, what a fucking... Okay, these guys are being tongue-in-cheek. Come on now.
Well,
I think it's very different. Like you were saying with contest prep and stuff like now, I've seen you look absolutely like crazy. I've seen your videos like, I'm like, what the
I mean, but also, look at, like, everyone over here is wearing a big-ass shirt. Everyone that has a fucking 3XL on.
So, like, I don't necessarily know if you, like, you know what I mean? You guys will have to be side by side, stage lean, like whatever.
Yeah, if you're on stage, like,
Yeah.
I'm an IFBB pro.
Look at Tiger Fitness. He got, like, a bold polo. This dude got, like, a 3X. Togi got a 3X. 3X shirt. Tight black shirt. Shizzy got, like, a 3X on. He's, like, the only dude in here that brought, like, a little tank top. And some little short shorts. He's, like, showing the most. Outside of Eric.
Pro, I'd love to see that.
Right, like
That'd be great.
he's
And I'm
acting
also
pro,
on
so
stage
who's to
at
say who's
220
better?
pounds or 212 in the 212s, so I'm gonna look bigger. You can't. So I voted for him over me. I could have voted for myself because that's narcissistic as. And also because he's younger, he has a better look.
Yeah, I would also touch on too, like, nothing against you, Josh, obviously, but like, I'd probably rather want to look like Sean or Shane, be taller and have that like look, like I don't know personally, but physique-wise, I would go with yours. Yeah.
It's hard to. Everybody's
So
like,
it's
I
so.
don't even know how he
it's such
looks.
Yeah.
Apparently, he looks great.
Yeah.
This is where we get to see the guys be like women. Oh, I like this, but I like this about you, but not this, but from this perspective, and that about you and that, and it's like,
And now it looks
I have
crazy.
no idea. All I see is clothes. I told him to get naked. He wouldn't.
I used to see it in the SD gyms. I remember seeing your videos.
Really quick though, I think there's an interesting point to be made here. Like, across the board, the natural athletes are showing a lot more skin than the enhanced, and I see.
only this dude has a tank top and some short shorts. Shizzy got some like short shorts and like a regular shirt. He got pants, like what is this? Jorts? What's like the pant short? I fucking forgot. Jorts? This guy got jorts on. No, I think Niall got like Jinko jeans on. Pants. Everyone got pants. Apparently, I guess it's very cold in here, but he's pretty chilling. Eric's chilling.
See this all the time, you know, like the whole like, you know, cover up as much as possible. Do you think that's due to the fact that when you do become enhanced, there is like this unrealistic expectation of yourself or the way you look, or you always feel like you look small, or you always compare yourself to your stage look, or you're comparing yourself to somebody else's stage look, the pinnacle of the sport, because now you've broached the fact that you're enhanced. There's nothing holding you back from being that top person, because you're not, like, for them, they could say they always have that to hang on, right? They're natural. They can never look like Chris Bumstead. Do you think that is part of that whole, like, you know, I can't be, you know, I like to cover up a little more, oversized, like, you know?
No, my opinion is like it is simply a utilitarian thing. If it's hot, wear something that'll let you cool off. If you're fucking cold, put something on that'll let you heat up. I am like too frugal for this question, dude.
Like, what do you think lends itself to that? Because I see a lot more natural guys like this, like dressing more like this, and more enhanced guys, big hoodies, big oversized, big joggers. They don't show off your legs at all.
I came on here thinking like, damn, if I wear a tank top and dude looks better than me, I'm gonna get punked on the thing. You know what I mean? But like you were saying too, wearing oversized stuff, like I always wanted to be big in a sweatshirt. So once I finally got that, bro, I started wearing huge clothes where it's like, and it's also the style now.
I used to wear suit. I mean, this is just my experience. I used to wear suit.
This is just like a style thing, if anything.
Super tight stuff when I was like in high school and in college, and that's also when I was natural. Not that it's correlated, but I mean, I just like wearing bigger stuff because it's, I don't know. I feel like
it's baggy, it's comfortable, it's whatever. I mean, it's great if like you go from like AC room to in your car you got AC to gym that has AC, and the only time you're outside is like when you like going to Walmart or to the gym and or whatever the fuck, and most of the time you're in AC. Sure, just wear like some oversized shit. Who gives a shit? I mean, I got a fan like right here. I mean, you guys can't see it, but like I got a fan on me, and I got the stupid like no sleeve thing on because I'm still hot.
Like it's comfortable and it looks better sometimes, but I do feel like there is still the possibility that some people that are enhanced, if they do compete, like you're seeing yourself in two different extremes, and that's what bodybuilders do. They do extremes. So they'll be on one end of the extreme where they're hitting a
extremely retarded
high calorie surplus, and in off season you gain a lot of body fat percentage, and the compounds you are on are not dryers. They're not going to make you look crisp. Then on the other side, you go into peak week. You're prepping for a show. Your proportions are there. You got a smaller waist. Everything's showing, and then you're on some DHT-derived anabolics, and that shit's making you look dry and striated. And I mean, like, it's kind of like maybe they feel less confident to show their body in their off season, or maybe they also just like, I feel like Chris Bumstead kind of likes to just like hide it and then like surprise everybody. So I don't know.
Yeah, so
like I said, I'm too poor for this question. I'm fucking, if it's hot, wear some less clothes. If it's cold, wear more clothes. Done.
So Shizzy actually ended up in second, who was also a natural athlete here. So
just how he said that. Also a natural athlete. Bro, oh my God. This is so funny. This is like the best moderator.
I think, yeah, it kind of just runs along those same lines, but do you guys want to speak to the fact that, you know, maybe, do you think that the biggest part of that is the genetic component?
I didn't notice this until just now, but Jubilee, you gotta like fix your chairs. This side is like all spread out, but this side is like too much like forward.
Of like, you can't really out steroid a bad physique, and you can't, you know, cheat your way into, you know, looking like Shizzy.
Yeah,
Well,
I think.
sorry.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
You would have won if you're in the vote and you're on steroids. So it's kind of, you know what I mean?
I don't. That's,
Well, I guess but asking the crowd, we would have all voted for Eric 100% if we were allowed to.
No,
Maybe
Josh,
not.
you wouldn't have?
I don't know.
I mean, it's all everyone's preference, right?
I think it's preferential as well.
I mean, you look great. You look amazing.
Yeah, I'm so,
You voted for yourself?
I did, as a matter of fact.
I
I
love
voted
that.
for myself.
Yeah, no, I wear that. I would have done the same shit.
Wear that on my sleeve.
I wouldn't have fucking voted for any of you losers. I would have voted for my ass. You know?
I prefer a more, you know, like classic aesthetic physique, slimmer waist, just like more. Not that you're not proportionate, but just like different proportions that are just adhered to what I envision to be the ideal physique, or one that is more astounding than someone simply bigger.
First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for being such great panelists, guests. I think we did find a lot of middle ground within this community. I think the biggest thing, the takeaway is like, get active, get fit. If the gym is not for you, I think that's a great, first outlet to build strength, build a community. I mean, everybody, even you can see here, like it's a very divisive line, but you see how much it came together. And I think the common ground is literally like getting active, bettering yourself, finding something that you enjoy that isn't staring at a screen. I think we could all kind of agree on that.
Nah, you could do both.
And I hope that we all can become.
Nah, you could be active and stare at a screen. You just stare at the screen after you're done being active.
Close friends after this all ends, but thank you guys again. Let's get out of here. Get some food.
Damn.
Let's do it.
Wait a sec. Bro. I didn't notice this till just now. Look at this. Look at how big these stools are. Like how wide they are. Or wait. But then look how big Eric's one is. Did they purposely give him the tiny one? Or did he like put one of these stools sideways? I think they purposely gave him the tiny one. What the fuck, Jubilee? It's actually hilarious. It was hilarious watching him stand up and sit down. Oh my god. Oh shit. Add Jeff Nippert and Coach Greg, and this would have been a oh my god. And then get fucking Mike Israetel on there. Oh my god. No way this aligned with Togi's sleep schedule. Oh my god. Shizzy on the natural side is the funniest part of the video. Yep, Toji actually a troll who let this dude on here. Hey, whatever. Bro, these comments are fucking crazy. So you say steroids are dangerous, but what about water? You got me there, Mark. Yeah, everything has a LD50. It's whatever. But yeah, this is a cool video. I just thought it was very interesting. I'm interested in like working out and all that bullshit. But yeah. I can't wait to see another Jubilee one. Good stuff, guys. And fix your damn chairs. Like, look at it. Okay, that one's like wide. This one's like narrow. Fix your chairs. Okay. See you on the next one. Peace.